Hey there! Welcome back to another review, this time of the 1996 comedy Carpool. Yes, I had the urge to watch this again. There was somebody mentioned it on a comment on one of my videos. For the life of me, I can't remember the YouTuber, but because it's just there's so many different comments and everything, it's hard to remember that kind of stuff, but I apologize for that. But I was like, okay, all right, I haven't seen Carpool in a while. I don't think I ever saw the film all the way through, because I only remember seeing parts of it on TV when I was a kid, and I never saw the film all the way through, even when I was a kid, and I didn't even see it all the way through until most recently. Uh, and probably for good reason, because this movie sucks. It's not one of those films that's epically terrible. It's not one of those movies that's so terrible that it's one of the worst movies ever. It's not so terrible that you want to lynch yourself while you're watching it or rip your own eyes out. It's not that bad, but it's not that good either. I can see why people don't care for this film or why people think it is one of the worst movies they've ever seen. But I've just seen worse than this though. But this is a film that it cost $17 million to make. And if you have seen this movie, hearing that, you're like, what the fuck? $17 million to make Carpool? Where did the budget go? Why? This movie looked like it cost 20 bucks. Maybe, probably a little bit more than that. How about $1,000 just for the mall sequence? When they did the stunt when they drove the minivan through the window. All right, that's about it. Because other than that, this does not look like a film that at all costed $17 million to make. What was most of it for Tom Arnold's food budget? I don't know. Like, I have no idea why this cost $17 million to make. That's a mystery to me. That this movie that looks cheap, that looks like it's a direct-to-video film, that looks like a Roger Corman production for his kid-friendly production spin-off of his company, cost $17 million. So, yeah, that was one of those surprises. Like, what? And the film only made $3 million in the box office, which is honestly $3 million too much. But anyway, the film was obviously not a hit. This was never going to be a hit. I don't know why Warner Brothers decided to release this in the theater in the first place. I don't think there's an audience for Tom Arnold starring comedies. He was good in True Lies and a supporting role, but everything else, I don't know. I can't even think of a film with Tom Arnold as the lead that was good or great. I can't think of it. Supporting character? Yeah, True Lies. I can't as a star. I can't really do it. Basically, the gist of the plot is this: you have a workaholic advertising executive who works for this company called Bauer and Cole. Uh, Daniel Miller, played by David Paymer, who's done way better films than this. He looks way out of place in this movie. He has an important business meeting, but he finds himself having to drive the neighborhood carpool for his sons Bucky, played by Micha Gardener, Andrew, played by Mikey Kovar, and their friends Chelsea, played by Coleen Rennison, Kayla, played by Rachel Leigh Cook. It's just she's really nice to look at in this movie. That's all I got to say. And Travis, played by Blake Warkol, who I hate. I hate this fucking character. I hate this kid. He's annoying as fuck. I wanted to take that shower cap he's wearing on his head and strangle him with it. Or take it and suffocate his ass so he shut the fuck up and stop being so goddamn annoying that I want to kick his ass into outer space! Anyway, Travis is a fucking terrible character. He's just one of those characters in a movie that's just weird, just to be entertaining, but he's just the complete opposite. He's just annoying as fuck. So anyway, his wife, David Paymer's wife, still played by Stelina Rusic, she gets sick. And so she can't do the carpool. So, and of course her husband's like, well, honey, why can't we find anybody else? Why do I have to do it? I have a very important meeting, a very important meeting. Come on, can you just take the kids? Really, I'm sick. Come on, can you just take the kids? And he's like, all right, okay, I'll do the carpool. So he picks up the kids, and he stops to get Danish for the kids at the Hammerman's Gourmet to Go grocery store because they wanted donuts, but there's no donuts there, there's only Danish. Because it's a gourmet store. That's the joke. They don't have donuts because they're gourmet and they only have Danishes and stuff. And there's even a line of dialogue where the guy's like, "Oh, we don't have any donuts, but I'm gonna get something, and all I want to hear is the sound of sugar coursing through all of your veins," because these kids are being annoying, and he wants them to shut up because he just wants to drop them off from wherever they need to go so he can get to his super important meeting. And so he ends up getting the Danishes, but then something goes wrong. He finds himself the victim of a robbery. And then the situation worsens as Franklin Laszlo, played by Tom Arnold, who's the desperate owner of the Laszlo Brothers Carnival, who had been contemplating a bank robbery of Puget Savings alone, he ends up robbing the robbers and then takes Daniel and the kids hostage in their Toyota Priva van, and as his truck is blocked by an armored car. And then there's a comedic car chase that ensues throughout Seattle. And then Daniel discovers the kids do not really respect him, and they react better to Franklin. But he's the bad guy. Yeah, but he's nice. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much what it insinuates to. He's the bad guy. He robbed me. He's kidnapping us. He's the kidnapper. But he's a nice guy. You want to go to the restroom with him? Yeah, but why not with me? I mean, I'm your dad. It's like, well, I like Franklin. He's nice. I don't get it. And they even have like a scene in the film where the kids have to point out to you this whole sort of good guy, bad guy thing in very annoying fashion. Good guy, bad guy, good guy, bad guy, good guy, bad guy. And I want to point out, this movie sucks. This is a shitty movie. This movie sucks dick. Shitty, 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 shitty. This is not a good movie. Bad movie. Bad movie. Bad movie. Just really, So yeah, that's the synopsis. It doesn't sound like much, does it, folks? Because it isn't much. It isn't at all. This movie it's one of those films that, okay, it's not the worst thing ever. If you were stuck watching this while you're in the waiting room somewhere for something, or it's on TV when you're getting your hair cut or something, waiting to get your hair cut, it'll, I don't know, it'll waste your time. It's a time waster. I get, barely. But there are much better films you can watch than Carpool. Much better comedies. Much better films with cars that are also comedies. Much better road trip comedy films. Like National Lampoon's Vacation. That would be a better time than Carpool. So, are there any pros for the film that I can think of? Some of the jokes made me chuckle, but some of them are real. But even the one that made me chuckle that I could think of off the top of my head was still a bad scene, because it starts out, they're in the car, and there's the Tom Arnold smells something, people in the car smell something, and Tom Arnold goes in and asks Leigh Cook's character in the back, is like, "Oh, did you beef?" And she's like, "No, girls don't fart." And I'm like, this again, this crap, that girls don't fart. Girls don't fart, yeah. And then Tom Arnold comes up with this quote where he's all like, "Well, tell that to my mom's cats. They all died thanks to my mom's flatulence." Basically, that's pretty much the gist of the joke. You should say that to my mom's cats. I thought the line delivery he gave and just how absurd that whole line was kind of, yeah, it's like, girls don't fart. Really? Come over to my house sometime and ask my mom why all our cats committed suicide. That was okay. It's like, "Kayla, did you beef?" "No, girls don't fart." "But come over to my mom's house sometime and ask why our cats all committed suicide." I'm like, yeah. That was a decent gag. But it was still a problem with the whole stupid line, "Girls don't fart." Yeah, everybody farts. Everybody farts. Even a lot of people are just girls don't want to do it in public. Guys don't want to do it in public either unless they're jerks. And most of the time, if I fart in public, it's because I could not stop the gas train. The gas train was coming and I couldn't stop it. And it happens. It's natural. It's not really that bad. It's not a bad thing. Oh my God. Ooh, I farted. I mean, come on. It's a natural thing. It happens to everybody, men and women alike. I don't see why it's so awful that if you fart in public, it's like you should be shamed and humiliated. Because it's just a part of what it is. That's our bodies. People fart. That's it. We fart. Animals fart. Humans fart. Everybody farts. So it's not a big deal. Now burping, you really could hold that. I mean, because most of the time when you burp, you can at least close your mouth. You can't close your butt cheeks. I guess you could. I know some people have uncanny control of their bodily functions. My stepfather happens to be one of them. I can't. It's amazing with my stepfather. It's like if I hear him burp or fart, it's a rare occasion. It's one of those moments that's it's just one of those aha moments. He is human. So yeah, it was just a perfect time to put that in there. I mean, they talked this, and it's just something I hate seeing in movies and TV shows. This whole thing that girls don't fart. They do, just like guys do. Everybody farts. Deal with it. This movie stinks like a fart, but hey, it doesn't change the fact that everybody does fart. Now, I did have some fun with the mall chase sequence, which they ended up painting the mall purple, which was another dumb thing. Somehow they ended up taking some spray on hair color and used it to spray paint the entire van with it. I don't think spray on hair color is the same as spray paint, but maybe I'm wrong. And so they spray on the hair color stuff, paint the van purple, so they don't get noticed by the cops. Which one of them is played by Kim Coates, who's just overacting his ass off in this movie and is a total joke. And they end up going into this mall, and after actually happens, Kim Coates is chasing after Tom Arnold and everybody, and he hides in a freezer truck like it's the A-Team, and then the freezer truck drops off its load at a mall. They get out and they drive through the mall, and it's at practical. It's a real car, a real van in a real mall, and I didn't mind that sequence. And then you have a character. It was an actress who you've seen before in Rhea Perlman, who you might know from Cheers. She's playing a traffic cop who really wants to get Tom Arnold, and so she's in this. She's in this. I guess it's her own special traffic cop mobile. It was like she's actually a meter maid. She's not even a traffic cop. She's a meter maid. So it's the meter mobile. Like and it has like flames in the back, and I half expected to hear the da 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 meter maid. I was just like, what? This is so silly. And so she tries to chase after them in the mall, and doesn't work out. And there's actually a pretty good stunt where the van drives through the top window of the mall and goes down on the ground below, and the chase ensues. So the scene in the mall I didn't mind. There's even a decent joke where uh, you have the character played by Leigh Cook, where she's looking out the window and she's looking at all the mall stores, with all the clothes. She's like, "Oh wow, I want that." And so it was a good idea, good premise. I like the idea of driving a chase scene in the mall. I thought that was a fun little sequence. Doesn't save the rest of the movie. It had a nice use of the Ramones. The song "I Wanna Be Sedated." They used that multiple times in the film, which was nice to hear the Ramones in this movie. And like I said earlier, Leigh Cook was nice to look at. She definitely was. I wouldn't have minded to have seen more of her in this film, if you know what I mean. But then it would be rated R, and it wouldn't be for kids. Now, cons, there's a ton of them. A boring plot, I read off the synopsis to you. That does not even sound like it's even worthy of a feature film. Um, Terrible jokes. Some of them aren't even jokes. There's no setup. There's some really awful, awful, awful jokes. Awful line delivery by Tom Arnold. Uh, Stupid crap where I guess he's trying to act like he works for this hair salon, and you have stuff we're talking about this giant pimple on some woman's neck and stuff, or she's got some hair on her lip. I don't really care. It's just stupid and dumb and lame, and these jokes aren't funny. A repeated joke that Tom Arnold's mom is some super strong superwoman who's throwing people around, and at the end of the movie, suppose it's so funny that Tom Arnold didn't show up in time for her dinner, so she went to Sizzler, and so now she's throwing SWAT guys around like the rag dolls in the Sizzler, and that's supposed to be so hilarious. Where's the joke? I don't really know where the joke is. Tom Arnold, for the most part, his character was annoying. There's a few lines, like I mentioned, that were okay at best, but for the most part, his jokes sucked. His line delivery sucked. He was just an annoying character, and his blabbermouth. It was just like, why? Why do I have to watch this? I mean, you couldn't come up with anybody better than Tom Arnold? I mean, there's no one else you could find to be in this film than Tom Arnold. Yeah, because the plot, any talented comedian probably looked at this script and was like, this sucks. You better pay me a shit ton of money, otherwise I'm not doing this. And the money doesn't come, so they're like, well, I'm not doing it. But other than, there was a few lines, and his character was it kind of felt for him, but at the same time, he's just annoying. And I wanted to knock his ass out with a tire iron. But hey, there were a couple moments where he was kind of funny, but that doesn't save the moments that he isn't, where I want to knock him out with a fucking tire iron. There's a horrible score by John Debney, who knows better. He knows way better. I mean, this is the guy who ended up he did the score for Cutler Island. Amazing score for that. He's a really great composer. He knows how to make really great scores. Did the score for End of Days. That's a great score. The guy really knows how to do scores. This just sounded really lazy and pathetic. Sounded like something I would have heard on a Roger Corman production from New Horizons, and like I was saying, his spin-off company that he made films for kids, where he would release those crappy pre-hysteria movies. It sounded like a score from one of those films. It was really awful. And the film had very flat direction by Arthur Hiller. And I'm just looking up Arthur Hiller right now because I want to know, has this guy done anything worth a damn as a director? I'm just curious. Like, really? That guy, the same guy who directed The Hospital with George C. Scott? That's lame. That sucks. I didn't mind that movie. He directed Man of La Mancha. He directed See No Evil, Hear No Evil. What? Are you kidding me? The same guy who directed See No Evil, Hear No Evil, a hilarious comedy with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. He also directed Silver Streak. That is unbelievable. The same guy who directed that, and he also directed Outrageous Fortune with Bette Midler and I believe Shelley Long, which I didn't mind that film. Wow. And after Carpool, he directed an Alan Smithy film, Burn, Hollywood, Burn, which he named himself Alan Smithy for that movie because it really was terrible. But he didn't name himself Alan Smithy for Carpool, though, because he was proud of this. Wow. The same guy who directed See No Evil, Hear No Evil and Silver Streak directed this really lame, piss-poor comedy. That's sad. That is really sad. But yeah, the direction by Arthur Hiller was very flat, had no life to it. It felt like a made-for-TV movie. And even for made-for-TV movie standards, it was really bad. I've seen TV movies that have more life than the direction in this movie. And even in the opening credits, the movie sucks. The opening credits start out with these fucking really weird looking opening credits with just a bunch of the titles of the actors just flying around on a black screen, and then all you hear is audio from the most annoying fucking segments of every road trip where, you know, you're on a road trip with kids. And, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Shut up! We're not there yet. But and that's the opening credits. So you know you're in for a good time from the beginning. But anyway, yeah, a lot of cons. Flat direction by Arthur Hiller. Annoying kids, especially Travis, who wanted to also knock out with a tire iron. And so, in short, this movie really does suck. It sucks shit. It sucks shit through an industrial strength vacuum cleaner. It's a terrible movie. It's bad. It's every bit as entertaining, as an enthralling, and as wonderful as just watching laundry spin around in your dryer at the laundromat. Hey, you'd have more fun there because you could probably stop by and play the arcade games that might be there. You might be able to play some 1941 Battle of Midway. You're not going to be able to have that out when you're watching Carpool. It's like if you get in a ride with a bunch of friends and you drive off and you're going on a road trip, and then you just get 4 flat tires right off the bat and you're just stuck there for an hour and 30 minutes. And you maybe have a few moments among each other where you make each other laugh once or twice, but the experience still sucks and you still hate it, and you'd rather be anywhere but in this car with your friends with 4 flat tires in the middle of the fucking freeway. That's pretty much what that's how it feels to watch Carpool. But anyway, I really don't know what else to say about Carpool. I've said enough, except to rate out of 5 stars. 1.5. That's too kind. 1 star for the mall sequence. Rachel Leigh Cook, who was nice to look at, and then she was legal then, so you can't get get upset at me for that. I think she was legal then. Well, she's legal now, so it doesn't matter. Uh, um, so, but yeah, some jokes by Tom Arnold that were kind of made me laugh. For the most part, the character was annoying. David Paymer was useless. The plot was boring. Uh, Rod Steiger was in this, embarrassing himself, which is really sad. And a lot of just there's way too many cons. There's the negatives outweigh the positives of this movie, so that's why I give it 1 star. Crappy score, crappy direction, and for the most part, it's just a bad film. It really is. I really don't know what else to say. I've repeated myself enough already. I don't want to talk about Carpool anymore. I'd rather just drive around with my tongue tied, or drive in a car with my arms tied behind my hands and tied behind my back. Probably be more exciting because I'll try to then I'll have something to do at least. I'll be trying to drive a fucking car with my chin. It'd be more. There'd be more something more to do than fucking watching this stupid fucking movie. I know it's not a great joke. I can't even come up with a good joke thing about this movie. It sucks that much. It just sucks all your brain cells out. It makes it hard for you to even come up with a joke because it's just so lame and generic. It's not even so bad it's funny. It's just generic and lame. And it sucks. Anyway, thank you for watching my review of Carpool, and I will see you guys later. See ya.